Our brain and spinal cord work together with many nerves to send, receive, and coordinate messages throughout the body. This enables us to react quickly to stimuli that can be dangerous to our bodies. In this video, I will explain the mechanisms of reflex actions which are essential to us every day for our survival. So what is a reflex action? A reflex action is a quick automatic response to a stimulus that occurs without conscious thought. So it involves electrical messages being sent rapidly along a pathway from receptors to effectors. Now before you can get an understanding of reflex actions, let's look at the basic overview of the nervous system. After all, this is the communication system in the body in which the messages will be sent throughout the body. So the brain and the spinal cord makes up the central nervous system. So this is the central coordinating part of the nervous system that is going to control and integrate all the messages that will be sent throughout the body. Now from the spinal cord and the brain, nerves are going to be branching out from these parts, and this is known as the peripheral nervous system. Now the peripheral nervous system and the central nervous system, they work together in order for these messages to be sent throughout the body. Now let's look at the neural pathway. Now neural pathways basically outline the route that electrical messages will be taken from receptors, which are usually found in the sense organs, to the effectors, which are typically muscles and glands. Now the messages are going to be sent from the receptors to the PNS, which consists of the sensory neurons. Now remember, neurons are those nerve cells which are going to be actually conducting the electrical impulses, and there are three types of neurons that are involved in the neural pathway. So first of all, the messages are going to be received from the receptors and they're going to be passed on to the sensory neurons found in the PNS. Then these messages are going to be passed from the sensory neurons to the CNS, which consists of the relay neurons. Now the relay neurons is like the connector neurons that are going to pass the message from the sensory neurons to the motor neurons. And then the motor neurons, which are also found in the PNS, will transfer the messages to the effectors. And then you would have the response being carried out. So the receptors, they receive the stimulus, the effectors are going to respond to the stimulus. Now remember that the stimulus is any change in the environment, and that would include temperature, light, moisture, touch. Anything like that would be considered a stimulus, and that is what the receptors are going to be receiving. And then the response, that is what is carried out by the effectors. So with muscles, if the messages are going to muscles, the response would be the muscle contracting or relaxing. That is how muscles respond to carry out a particular action. And then with glands, the response will be the production, the secretion of either hormones or juices, fluids. So that is how the effectors work. So when they receive the message, the effectors will then carry out the particular response. So that is just an overview of the neural pathway. Now there are two types of neural pathways I'm going to look at in this video. So the first one would be the cranial reflexes, and then secondly the spinal reflexes. So let's look at the cranial reflexes first. So cranial reflexes are those responses controlled by the brain. So in other words, the messages are going to be sent to the brain. The brain is going to be coordinating these messages and then send them to the effectors. Now common examples would include the pupil reflex, in which your pupils would adjust in size depending on the light intensity. And another response would be the blinking reflex. That would be involving the reaction that you would have when something is coming at your eye quickly or something gets into your eye. So these are two common cranial reflexes, obviously both involving the eye, but the one I'm going to look at is the pupil reflex pathway. Now before actually looking at the pathway, the reflex pathway, let's look at what happens in the actual response. So first of all, when the eye is exposed to bright light, the pupil is going to constrict. And the iris that surrounds the pupil is what is controlling the opening of the pupil. So the iris is made up of two different muscles. We have circular muscles and radial muscles. So when the pupil is constricting, when it's getting smaller, the circular muscles are actually contracting. So that's making the pupil smaller, and the radial muscles will be doing the opposite, which will be relaxing. So remember, when one muscle contracts, the other muscle will relax. That is antagonistic action. And then when the pupil is exposed to dim light, so the light intensity is much lower, you see that the opposite happens. The pupil dilates, it gets bigger, and that is because the radial muscles in this case now are contracting, while the circular muscles are going to be relaxing. So those are the responses to the different light intensities. Now let's look at the actual diagram here to outline the pathway of the pupil reflex. So basically the stimulus, that would be either the bright light or the dim light. So that stimulus will be received by the receptor, which will be found in the retina. So the photoreceptors are the light sensitive cells within the retina. So they actually receive the light, and then that information will be converted into nervous impulses. So in the eye, the nervous impulses will be sent to the optic nerve. So that optic nerve will contain the sensory neurons, which will send the messages to the brain, where you're going to have the relay neurons. So remember, it's the cranial reflex, so the messages will be sent to the brain through the relay neurons, and these relay neurons are going to send the messages now to the motor neurons. The motor neurons transfer the messages to the effector. So in this case, with the pupil reflex, the effector is actually the muscles of the iris. So the circular and the radial muscles of the iris. So they will either contract or relax. So that will be the response in terms of causing the pupil to get either smaller or larger depending on the light intensity. So it's really the iris that would be acting as the effector to carry out the response, which is the pupil changing its size. So this is just an outline here of the pupil reflex pathway. So you see from stimulus through the receptor to the different neurons in order, and then to the effector, which carries out the response. So in this case, remember the messages are going to the brain, which will consist of the relay neurons. It's going to the brain because it is a cranial reflex. So that is the pupil reflex pathway. Okay, let's look at the spinal reflexes now. So the spinal reflexes would be the responses that would be controlled by the spinal cord. So instead of the nervous impulses going to the brain, they're going to be taken to the spinal cord, where they're going to be coordinated. So common examples of spinal reflexes would be, first of all, the knee-jerk reaction. So this is done when you go to the doctor and they're testing your reflexes by tapping you under your knee. And then another response would be pretty much reacting to painful stimuli, for instance getting burned. So if you accidentally touch a hot pan, touch a flame, you're going to experience a quick response by your arm pulling back quickly from the actual stimulus, the heat. So these are common examples of spinal reflexes. So remember, the messages are going to the spinal cord instead of the brain. So let's look at what happens during the knee-jerk reflex. So first of all, when the doctor taps the individual by the knee, so they're tapping on the patellar tendon, and that triggers the stretch receptor. So it's pretty much receiving the stimulus from the tap of the hammer, and the stretch receptors within the biceps femoris. So that is a muscle that you would find in your thigh. So you have two types of muscles, the biceps femoris, which is the flexor muscle, and then the quadriceps femoris, which is the extensor muscle. So these muscles are going to work antagonistically, like every other muscle would work in the body. So when one is contracting, the other would relax. So basically, the stretch receptor is going to receive that stimulus information and convert it into the nervous impulses and be sent through the sensory neurons. So the sensory neurons, remember, they always pick up the information from the receptors. So these sensory neurons are going to travel through the dorsal root of the spinal cord. The sensory neuron then connects to the relay neurons, or the interneuron, which is going to be found within the gray matter of the spinal cord. So that is the part highlighted in green. And then the relay neuron, the interneuron, will send the messages to the motor neurons. And the motor neurons are going to connect now back to the muscles, so the biceps femoris and the quadriceps femoris, and this would cause the flexor muscle to relax while the extensor muscle would actually contract, allowing the actual leg to fly up in the air quickly. So the leg is going to extend quickly, and that would be the response. So remember, when one muscle is contracting, the other is relaxing. So in this case, to extend the leg quickly, the quadriceps femoris muscle is going to extend, is going to contract, and that causes the leg to extend. So while that is contracting, the flexor muscle would be relaxing. So that is basically the knee-jerk reflex action in a nutshell. So you have the stimulus being the hammer that's tapping upon the knee, and then the response would be the leg flipping up quickly. Now, a similar reflex action would occur as you react to painful stimuli. So for instance, getting burned. So if you accidentally touch a flame, so you can see that the stimulus here will be the heat from the flame, and the receptors will now be found within your skin. So the pain receptors are stimulated, and then the messages are sent through the sensory neuron, through the dorsal root of the spinal cord, into the gray matter, where you're going to find the relay neurons, and then the relay neurons connect to the motor neurons that would send the messages to the effector, which is the muscle once again, but this time in the arm. So the effector muscle would contract and cause your arm to basically move away quickly from the flame. So it would bend back quickly. So that is the reaction to painful stimuli. So the same spinal reflex mechanism occurs here. So the messages are being sent to the spinal cord rather than the brain. So hopefully you have a better understanding now of reflex actions and the mechanisms that are involved. If you found this video helpful, feel free to subscribe, like, and share. And don't forget to hit that notification bell.